Hello, fellow human! Welcome back to another Dank Doggo / entitled parents videos. Let's be honest here, are you a coffee addict? Do you need to have a cup of coffee in the morning as a boost of energy? The first story is posted by you/micropixel. You have to share with my kid, and I maliciously comply. So this happened this morning, and I'm still laughing my butt off about this, because I love malicious compliance. This morning, I was on my way to school drinking a coffee drink that I make at home nearly every morning. This drink is the best drink for waking up in the morning and for staying awake all day, as a university student typically needs to do. For your information, my morning drink usually consists of 8 shots of blonde espresso, 3 pumps of marshmallow-flavored syrup, and topped up with a bit of milk. So for the most part, it's nearly pure caffeine and sugar. Don't berate me, I know this isn't healthy at all, but it's so darn good. Anyways, I was riding on the bus to go to school when a friend calls me on the phone and we were talking quietly for a while. And a few stops later, M gets on the bus with her entitled child who looks to be about like 4-ish. I was talking to my friend and we get into the topic of coffee and I was talking about my drink. The kid must have heard me mention the marshmallow syrup in my drink because I see him go to his mother and whisper something in her ear. I hear the mother tell him, "Well, go ask her." Next thing I know, the kid comes up to me with an empty sippy cup and asks me to share my drink with him. I tell the kid no because it's not good for you. He starts bawling and his mother yells at me, "Well, why don't you share with him?" I tell her, "This isn't a drink that's good for kids." To which M replies, "Well, it has marshmallow syrup in it, so surely it's not that bad. Share with him and don't be greedy. You have to share with him." I was in a pissy mood and just wanted to be left alone, so I decided to maliciously comply. I took the kid's cup and filled it completely. This was about half of my drink, so I would estimate 4 shots or so of espresso, and gave it back to the kid. Kid takes the drink and downs it quickly like a champ. "Thanks, miss. That was really yummy," the kid says politely. "You're welcome," I reply back. "See, that wasn't so hard now, was it? My son seems to really like your drink. What was in it so I can make it at home for him?" M asks. "It's mostly blonde espresso with 3 pumps of marshmallow syrup and a splash of 2% milk," I reply. "You gave my kid espresso! The duck is wrong with you!" M explodes angrily. The bus driver decides to intervene and ask if M is bothering me. So I say yes, and he tells her to leave me alone or to get off the bus. M shuts off, and I enjoy the rest of my ride to school in silence. Have fun with your super caffeinated child, M. Next time, use your brain before allowing your child to beg for a treat from a stranger. What kind of parent would want their kid sharing a drink with a stranger anyway? That's pretty gross, even if it was water. We have here the second story written by you/Chains of the Helpless. My first personal encounter with Karen. This happened 1 week ago, a Monday, my worst day in over 5 years. I'm a locksmith by trade, and the job requires me to be up on the ladders fixing doors and locks and whatever else is broken on a door. I was working in the main entrance door to a large second-hand store. Sometimes I have to block off an entryway to fix a door. And if I do, I always try to find another option for the customers to enter and exit the building. I opened an emergency exit door off to the right, maybe like 10 feet away of where I was working, to make sure there was a door they could use. I'm working away, minding my own business up on my ladder, listening to my audiobook on my Bluetooth headset, when entitled Karen and child walked towards me. "Karen, excuse me, I need to get into the store." Me, "Well, this entry is out of order right now, but Karen, "I need it now. You can't block the door." Me, "Yes, well, if you let me finish what I was saying." Karen, "You need to move out of my way." Me, getting annoyed. "There's a door over there. You can go in there." Karen, "No, this is closer." Me, now angry. "Look, stop bothering me and go over there." This is when Karen takes things to the next level. And by next level, I mean she get arrested. Karen had none of my yelling at her. She grabs her son by the wrist, who has been standing by saying nothing, and tries to climb under my ladder while I'm on it. Her purse caught on the side rung of my ladder and pulled it over. sending me, my tools, and the motor of the handicap operator I was working on smashing to the ground. I fell on my shoulder, dislocating my shoulder and some bones. The motor hit the ground and shattered, and the ladder fell on her and her son. A cashier, who saw the whole thing through the window, rushed over to see if I was okay. I said no, something is broken, a bit shocked. Called the police and an ambulance. They arrive and the police take statements, and I tell them I want to press charges before I was loaded up in the ambulance and was taken to the hospital. The kid's father came to get the child, who was not hurt, thankfully, and M was taken away in handcuffs. No words yet on a court date or anything, and since then, I've been off work, in pain, all because Karen wanted some second-hand crap. After that, a lot has happened for Karen. First off, I've been at home resting and healing, and my boss was nice enough to pay me full wages when I'm off. Instead of what the insurance board could have paid me. I'm very grateful to work for someone who respects and cares for his workers. As for Karen, her bail was posted last week, and she's been ordered to stay with her mother until the court date. This has become a full criminal matter. She has been charged with, first, 2 counts of assault with a weapon causing bodily harm. Second, 1 count of child endangerment. And third, 1 count of harassment. And if convicted, ordered to pay the damages for all the broken property. Also, she's facing 8 years in prison for all of this. Her husband has filed a divorce, and the child has been given to his father's custody with an order she's not to see him without the supervision of a child services agent and at least 1 police officer. Court dates and lawyers are finished. It's been a long road. First, Karen has been charged and officially sentenced. $30,000 damages including medical costs, 4 years in federal prison, and 2 years probation. Her son is scared of her. Her family didn't even show up to the sentencing hearing. I'm happy and I'm healed and feeling good now. I want to say though, I feel really bad for Karen and her family. Karen ruined her life and tore her family apart. A little life lesson to everyone out there. Just be nice to people who are trying to do their job and have a good attitude. Otherwise, you could lose everything. At first, I was quite furious reading this, but now, considering how this ends, I must have surely learned her lesson. Next up, we have the third story shared by Just Monica, just DDLC. Pair of M's tried to shut down a festival and pepper spray my boyfriend over cultural appropriation. This story starts yesterday afternoon with me and my boyfriend going to a Japanese cultural festival. The festival gets held every year at some kind of a large temple or cultural center, but this is my first time going. I've wanted to go for the past few years, but for one reason or another, something else always came up that prevented me from going. So needless to say, I'm pretty excited to go, now that the stars have perfectly aligned for me to go. There's all sorts of events and activities going on, both in and outside the buildings when we arrive, food, music, educational speakers, presentation, etc. And me and my boyfriend spent the day having a great time. Eventually, we ended up at a booth that allows people to pay to take pictures in traditional Japanese attire. We both dressed up in a yukata. And at the end, the person running the booth tells us if we would like to purchase our own kimonos or yukata, and that they have a vendor that is selling them. I think it's pretty cool, so we go to check it out. And I ended up purchasing one for me and one for my boyfriend. Both of us putting them on right away. End up heading to go get some food when someone called out to us with an "Excuse me?" Turn around and see 2 women with a kid, and one of them is a white woman, M1, and other appears to be Asian, M2. Both of them have obnoxiously brightly colored hair and are wearing duck hate shirts. M1: "Hi there, can I just ask if either of you are Japanese descent?" Me: I'm not sure about him though. I say jokingly. My boyfriend: no I'm not." M1: "Well then, why do you feel like you have the right to wear that?" Me: I don't understand." M1: "It's called cultural appropriation and it's wrong. So you need to take those off and never wear them again." My boyfriend: excuse me?" M2: "It's just that if you aren't Japanese, you shouldn't be wearing those outfits. Japanese culture isn't your fashion statement." This keeps going on for about 2 minutes. The two seems to have a routine where M1 is the aggressor, constantly throwing out accusations and labels, while M2 is just trying to guilt trip us. M1 is getting angrier by the second, and we try walking at one point, but M blocks our path. M1: "Don't walk away from me." Kid starts crying probably because his mom just yanked the hell out of his arm and is screaming at strangers on a hot day. M1, now you're upsetting our son. My boyfriend, please leave us alone. We bought these at the festival and you're being ridiculous. Staff member comes over since this is starting to cause a scene. M2 starts speaking to one of them, presumably in Japanese, while the other is stuck with M1 berating them, telling them that they should be ashamed of themselves and how they shouldn't allow things like this, etc. Meanwhile, M2 says she's calling the police to shut down the festival. At this point, we try to get the hell out of there. M1 spots us trying to leave and tries to grab my boyfriend, who just knocks her hands away. M1 suddenly pulls out a pepper spray and spray it at my boyfriend, getting him right in the eyes. Shockingly, they don't mind stick around for when the police show up. They take our statement of what happened, but unfortunately, this place doesn't have security footage and nobody was recording the incident. But we made it very clear that when they found that we wanted to press charges. But so far, we haven't heard anything. And after that, we went over to the hospital to make sure that my boyfriend won't have any lasting eye damage. No call from the cops, but my boyfriend got a call from someone who was apparently a part of the people who run the event. He didn't ask how high up the chain they were, but the meat and bones of the conversation was they were calling to offer an apology and that this happened at their event, and to inform him that they would cooperate in whatever way possible with the investigation. They also told him that they would be making some changes regarding security, and he seemed happy enough with the result. Well, I've never understood this. Culture should be celebrated and shared. Moving on to the fourth story shared by you/the Airwoman. EP tries to enter my apartment to measure the bedroom. So this happened 3 years ago. I was renting a basement apartment that I loved. My landlords were great. Aunt and uncle of my childhood friend, and I lived there for like 3.5 years. Halfway through, they told me they wanted to sell the place, but probably not that soon since the husband was working on a commercial ship for 9 months at the time. I just asked them to tell me when they decide to sell. And anyway, 13 to 14 months pass and they decide to start the process. They introduced me to the realtors. Everything gets sorted out. Up to this point, everything is going great. Realtors give me 24 hours notice before they bring the buyers. I can stay home during the showings or go about my business. I have no complaints about them or my landlords throughout the process. Then one day I just got back from work and I didn't feel like going out again. Realtors came with a family of 5 or 6. It was announced, I just forgot, so I decided to stay. Family consisted of mother, father, adult daughter, and 2 or 3 kids, I can't remember. Father was a piece of work. Now, thing is, I lived in a touristy town on the Mediterranean coast. It was the summer. People tried to pull all sorts of cons here. EF, I know you said someone lived here, but we hope to stay here a couple of days to get the feel of the apartment. Realtor, what? This place isn't for rent and OP already lives here. EF, well, I can't buy something just like that, but okay, obviously we can stay the night. Me, sorry, no you can't, I live here. He moves on, measure things left and right, wondering out loud if their large wardrobe will fit into the bedroom. How he wants to buy an apartment for his daughter because she wants to go to college here. Eventually, they pack up and leave for the beach. And I saw them later. Beach was like 2 minutes away from the apartment. The next day, there was no scheduled showings. So I decided to do one thing everyone does when they live right next to the beach, take a nap after work. But before my head even hit the pillow, I hear someone coming down the stairs. There was only 2 basement apartments, and my neighbors went away for a week. I get up and go for the door to spy, and before I even made it halfway there, someone rattles the doorknob, and then 10 seconds later, start knocking. I was really confused and freaked out. I go to the door, and lo and behold, it's the entitled father from yesterday. I do not open my door. Me, who is it? EF, it's me, EF, we were here yesterday. Me, what do you want? EF, I want to measure the space in the bedroom to see if my daughter's wardrobe will fit. Me, no, you're not getting in. EF, but I can't buy the place if I don't know. It's for my daughter. Me, then call the realtor. They have all the measurements on file. I'm not letting you in. EF, I'll buy this place and evict you. Me, well, good luck. I have 3 months left on the lease and you can't do crap about that. My landlords told me that if the place sells before my lease is up, the contract will state that I can't be evicted before my lease is up. I already had a place lined up. EF starts cussing out and I hear him go away. I called the landlords and realtors after that, and they were all mortified and worried. Someone like that just came to my place, tried to get himself in, and threatened to evict me. EF did not buy the apartment after all, because the landlords refused to ever deal with him again, and realtors told him it was sold. To this day, I believe their plan was to find a place to crash at for a few days for a free vacation under the pretext of buying the place for their daughter. I still had to improvise the webcams around the apartment to keep an eye on it while I was at work for the remainder of my stay there. I spent the entire summer not feeling safe in my own home. Well, first time hearing about such shady schemes. Gotta be more careful, people. The final story is posted by u/Spartan1008. Entitled parent meets a Queens neighborhood. So, funny story happened today. I have a piece of property in Queens, New York, and the hot water heater was leaking, had to change it, etc, etc. Luckily, plumbing is my thing, so went there with 2 guys to get it done. While they're working inside and I go outside to make some calls. And this kid I know, mind you, he's 20, just seems like a kid to me, is across the street doing 420 stuff on his porch. Mind you, this is a good kid and a bit shy, but just nice and would shovel everyone's driveway or walkway during the winter for 20 bucks. When a Karen with her kids stops in front of his house and starts yelling at him. Karen, what are you doing up there? That is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. 20 years old, mind your own business and keep moving, lady. He said this politely enough, and I'm paraphrasing. Karen, my kids have to play out here, and you're trying to turn them into drug addicts. I'm calling the cops. She pulls out her phone to call the cops, and I decide at this point to go across the street and intervene before the cops get involved. 420 stuff is pretty much legal here, and it would have been at most a $50 fine. Me, hey, what the duck do you think you're doing to this nice lady? Are you doing 420 and not sharing, you selfish prick? 20 years old staring, Me, sorry, here, take one of mine. Reaches into my pocket and pulls out half a joint I was saving for later. Ducking kids these days have no respect. Karen to me, are you ducking kidding me? What the duck is wrong with you? At this point, another neighbor who was watching this unfold, having a bit of chuckle and steps in. Other neighbor, hey Spartan, what the duck is all the yelling about? Me, the kid was 420 and this young lady wanted a pull and he was being a selfish prick. Other neighbor, what the duck? That is ducked up, kid. I'm telling your mom when she gets home. Sorry lady, let me go inside and get my stuff for you. We don't tolerate that kind of behavior in this neighborhood. Karen, you think this is funny? You guys are disgusting. I'm calling the police. At this point, she walks away back to the homeland of Karens. She never to be seen again, I hope. And the 20 years old starts bursting apart at the seams in laughter. Figured you guys would have a good chuckle at this. And since she tried to use her kids as an excuse to push other people around, I think it fits this up. Well, this post reads in a very strong New York accent and I love it. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.